hospitalized for medical attention, and instead she was treated with sarcasm by the officers. Repeated officers outside in the hallways had no idea why we were actually being held, while other officers said we needed to be held.
You're an idiot. That's what they said.
Absolutely, for Stanley. And so I think it's really important to no, but it's really important to recognize that they had no idea what it is that they were actually trying to get done. These officers are not to be trusted. All they tried to do was silence us. They wanted to make us crazy. They escalated. They removed everybody out of this building for an apparent break-in, when all we were trying to do was attend a press conference. That's all we were trying to do in a public building. It is not trespassing in a building.
Hello.
Just what these officers are capable of. They tried to silence us because they understand what it is that we're actually trying to do here, and that's to seek justice for the Prude family and for all other victims whose videos have not yet been released.
Yes.
There are so many other videos of people that have not yet been released, and I'm sure they are yet to come. And it's important to recognize just what it is that they've done for us. I don't know if you want to...
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's traumatic. Traumatic. If just for the record, if everyone that's listening, say Stanley Martin. Ashley Gann, A-S-H-L-E-Y-G-A-N-T-T.
Stanley Martin, STANLEY-MARTIN.
Rena Golden, REENAHGOLDEN, and you are Miss Melanie Sanchez.
F-U-N.
I just want to make sure you get your spelling in there, right?
MELANIE. F is in Frank. UNCHE. S is in Sam. S is in Sam. Fun chess. Fun like to have fun, chess like the game with the rooks and the pawns.
Which we will not be.
It's time for
Iman Abed, I-M-A-N-A-B-E-D.
Hanif Abdul Wahid. H-A-N-I-F. Hanif Abdul Wahid. A-B-D-U-L-W-A-H-I-D.
Justin, J-U-S-T-I-N, Morris, M-O-R-R-I-S.
Right. I'll get the mic.
Cam?
Justice for Darren Lam! Say it, say! Darren Lam! Say it, say! Ryan Stokes! 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 Justice for Ryan Stokes! Justice for Ryan Stokes! Say it, say! Ryan Stokes! Say her name! Breonna Hill! 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 Justice for Breonna Hill! Justice for Breonna Hill! Justice for Breonna Hill! Say it, say! Terrence Britton! 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 Justice for Terrence Britton! Justice for Terrence Britton! Justice for Terrence Britton! Justice for Terrence Britton! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Black lives matter! 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 What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! We don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! We don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! Fire Rick Smith! 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 Fire Rick Smith!
I got his back, man. I got his back. No peace! smash that up a couple times.
qabsoon keessan itti fufa bama waan arganne waan barbaanne ni arganna haqaaf falmataa jirra jabaadhaa isiniin jedha galatoomaa isin martinaa ulfaadha.
Oromoo jirtu Oromoo jirtu Oromoo jirtu itti aansuudhaan obboleettiin teenya walaloo qabdii sabboontuuni karaa ishiittiin isin dabarsee jechuudha.
If it's silver and if it's iron.
Yeah.
And they start to dig and they found coins of Alexander Nevsky with the bite of the lion bite on his head. He had like a head of lion, like bite of that. Every single Z is like 250,000 euro. Every monet. And
But I don't think that if you find these coins, you cannot.
take it exactly.
Yeah, you cannot.
And they give it to the government.
Yeah,
And
the government they give you a little bit of
Price,
money.
not
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, so that's where it is.
I got one. Thank you.
But we'll let people know. March on Kansas City. Give yourselves a hand. We're going to wait on a couple of our elders to be here. It's going to take us just a couple of minutes. If you feel up to it, you can come out and be with the crowd here. I know the shade is comforting, but stay where you have to stay cool. There is water to my left in the back, and we're going to start in a couple of minutes very shortly. Come on and give yourselves a hand for the great march on Kansas City.
Blood on the leaves. And blood at the roots. Black bodies. Strange from the popping tree. Let's go to see all the gallant side. And the twisting round.
Come here, I want to hear what he said.
If you do not do right by the people who patronize your establishment, all of us are not returning, and we're going to tell our friends not to return over here either. I love Carroll Avenue. I love every facet, every corner of this.
Yes.
Every corner in Buffalo.
Yes.
Well, see, this is the issue. As African Americans, we give our money to every sector of this city. And guess what? None of it comes back to our community. We do business with you, but you don't do business with us.
That's right.
We come to change the narrative.
Yes. Tell it.
We have businesses also that that need to be supported. I thought we were in COVID-19. If we were in COVID-19 and you're closed 5 months, why the hell did you open with a racist attitude?
Yes! Yeah!
We're not separating anybody. We're all included in this. We have the Liberation Collective. They're here. They protect me. We have Kitty Simmons. We have Dan Middlebrooks who's going to speak. We need to pass Mario's law.
Period last year, home builder sentiment reached the highest level on record, indicating that more high-paying construction jobs are on the way. Home building has been great, and lending has been really incredible. U.S. manufacturing activity reached a 19-month high in August. While my administration has fought every day to restore prosperity, however, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats in Congress are holding additional China virus relief hostage to reasons that nobody understands. I guess I do. I think I understand. It's called politics. And speaking of politics, I think North Carolina, I think that Michigan and Pennsylvania and other states, they should open, the governors, the Democrat governors should open the states. They'll open them on November 4th. But they should open them now. It's very unfair to the people to have those shutdowns continuing at the level that they're continuing. Democrats are insisting on a massive taxpayer bailout of badly run blue states, stimulus checks for illegal aliens, and the mass release of inmates from jail. They want to release a lot of inmates, some of them for very serious reasons. They want to release them from jail. They want that as part of a stimulus package. Can you believe it? It's time for the Democrats in Congress to start working across the aisle and put the American people first. Now, we have $300 billion in an account that we didn't use, $300 billion, and we are willing to use that. I would be willing to release it subject to Congress and use that as stimulus money, and it would go right to the American people. So we have $300 billion. That we didn't need because things are going so well with the economy. But it would be a very appropriate thing to release that to the American people, and I am willing to do it. All we need is a sign-off. But that doesn't mean that we're going to release prisoners, some very vicious people, actually. We're not going to put them on the streets like the Democrats want us to. And we're not going to give stimulus checks to illegal aliens. They came into the country illegally, and now we give them a check. We want to give the checks to the American people. So remember, we have $300 million. It's there. We don't need the money. We don't need anything. Just let that money get released to the American people. As our economy rebounds, there's only one thing that could stop the extraordinary economic comeback and wipe out the future of American workers, and that's what the Democrats want to do with a $4 trillion tax hike, implementing things that will be really bad for our country. And this will just absolutely cripple what we're doing on regulations and so many other elements of success. We had the greatest economy in history prior to the China virus coming in. Now they want to stop regulations. They want to bring up regulations to a level, stop the things that we're doing, which are at a much smaller level, and bring up regulations at a level that nobody's ever seen before. They want to do things that will make it impossible for any economy to grow. They want to ban fracking. And as you saw, ban, and all of a sudden he sees his polls going down, and now he says, well, I was only talking about not maybe banning fracking, but he wants to ban fracking. And it doesn't matter what he wants to ban. The people that control him want to ban fracking. And whether it's Pennsylvania, Texas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, so many other states, you can't ban fracking. That would be a disaster. Ohio want to abolish American energy. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Adopt disastrous trade deals and inflict a devastating shutdown. As you know, he said we want to shut it down. We would be willing to shut it down. And you don't shut down when we're setting records. And by the way, we're rounding the corner. We're rounding the corner on the virus. Joe Biden's blanket shutdown would collapse our economy, would cause countless deaths from suicide, drug, alcohol abuse, heart disease, and more. You know, shutdowns cause a lot of problems, a lot of very serious problems, more so than the virus itself. Biden's plan is not a solution. It's a virtual surrender. And our country is doing so well. We're starting to do so well. I think we're going to have a great third quarter. I mean, you're going to see for yourself because the numbers will be announced sometime prior to the election on November 3rd. And as you know, Joe spent his entire career sending American jobs to China and other far away countries. For 47 years, people were pillaging our country, taking our jobs, taking our companies. And that's never going to change with that mindset and with that group. Biden is not going to be standing up to these foreign countries. He's not going to be standing up, maybe more importantly, to the people that run the Democrat Party. He doesn't have the strength to do that. He refuses even to condemn Antifa, a bad group, a far-left domestic terrorist organization. He doesn't want to say anything bad about it. His plan to appease the domestic terrorists is the exact opposite of what I'm doing. And I think you saw that last night. Yesterday, the U.S. Marshals, we sent them in, U.S. Marshals. We were waiting for local government to take care of it, but they didn't do that, so the U.S. Marshals went in, law enforcement. They took down the Antifa member who murdered a man in the middle of a street in Portland. The suspect was killed after drawing a weapon when officers attempted to take him into custody. They wanted to take him in. The U.S. Marshals, credible people. So I want to thank them for their strength, their bravery, and I really do wish that the mayor of Portland and the governor of Oregon would get going and stop the crime in that city. It'd be so easy to do. Well, we're focused on creating good-paying jobs. The radical left is focused on unleashing really violent mobs, and you see that whether you're conservative or liberal or independent, we must all agree the need for peace and order and safety. Under my administration, law enforcement is conducting arrests nationwide of rioters, looters, and domestic terrorists. The reasons we didn't put Chicago into our list, where we're holding back funds from some of these states and cities that are doing such a poor job, such an incompetent job, a job that nobody can even imagine how bad. And we're holding it back until they get their act together. And we are having a lot of people in Chicago right now, and you notice that their numbers are going down rapidly. But we've deployed a lot of federal law enforcement inside of Chicago, and they're taking out quite a few people. And they're being arrested, they're being put in jail, and that's why you see those numbers going down. That's why you see that with respect to the mayor, we did not hold back funds in Chicago. But New York is experiencing a tremendous crime wave, in some cases up over 300%, and they have to do something quickly. We just spoke to Mayor Bowser, and she's willing to do whatever is necessary. We had a very good talk with her. That's in D.C., and the other places, they speak for themselves. We're working with the state and local authorities to comb through hours of videotape, identify and arrest suspects, and prosecute lawbreakers. We've already got over 300 in jail, and we have tremendous evidence, and I want to thank the media for helping us out because they're taking different angles. We have it from every different angle. You can't probably have any better than what we've got. We see it from the sky and the ground and from the right and from the left. So when they say they didn't do it, we say, well, what's this? So we get that from the media free of charge. Under Operation Legend, we've surged federal law enforcement to cities plagued by violent crime. The initiative has already resulted in tremendous success, and nationwide, we have over 2,000 arrests, and we don't talk about it too much, but now we might as well. So we've arrested over 2,000 criminals. They're criminals. and in a single month murder rate in Chicago, as you know, and as I said, it was cut in half, actually. So on the China virus front, the nations of Europe have experienced a 38% greater excess mortality than the United States, 38% more greater excess mortality than the United States. A lot of you don't want to report that. And if we took New York out of the equation, there's nobody even close. The job we've done is incredible, and we don't get any credit for it, but we've done an incredible job. Through Operation Warp Speed, we have 3 vaccines in the final stage of clinical trials. Yesterday, Pfizer announced, I just spoke to the head of Pfizer, great guy. They announced that it expects to have the results of its trial very, very shortly, next month, but very shortly. We remain on track to deliver a vaccine before the end of the year and maybe even before November 1st. We think we could probably have it sometime during the month of October. And Pfizer is among the leaders, as you know, and it's a great company. Johnson & Johnson also doing very well. Moderna. We have some really great companies. They're all doing very well. They're all in final stages. And I think you're going to see results that are shockingly good. Finally, I want to provide you with a brief update of the virus. Cases in the United States have declined 28% nationwide over the last month, and hospitalizations and deaths have continued to decline over the past week, very substantially declined. Thanks to America's medical genius, the mortality rate has been reduced by 85% in April. Mortality rate reduced by 85%. Hospital lengths of stay are 1/3 of their average length in April. So the hospitalization's down, the length of stay is way down. In order to keep making progress against the virus, we ask all Americans to remain vigilant, especially over Labor Day. You know, you have the Labor Day weekend coming upon us immediately. I guess we can say pretty immediately. And we need everybody to be careful, to apply common sense, and do all of the things that we've told you to do as quickly, as much as you can. Social distancing, wearing a mask whenever the distancing is not possible, and staying with a group that you know. Let's just try and get through this one weekend, and I think we have a chance of doing that. Just social distance, wash your hands, all of the hygiene things that we speak about, and we're really rounding the turn. And the vaccines are coming, the therapeutics have already come, but they continue to come. The convalescent plasma has had a tremendous impact already. You see what's happening there, and remdesivir has been incredible. So we have a lot of things happening. We have a lot of therapeutics coming out. I think from the standpoint of common sense, I guess therapeutics to me right now, you go into a hospital, you give somebody a shot or transfusion. It might be a transfusion. Probably more than 50% are actually transfusions, and they'll leave the hospital shortly thereafter. I mean, to me, that's more important in a certain sense than the vaccine, but the vaccines will be great over the long term, the therapeutics over the short term, and also knowing you have the therapeutics, I think, is great from the standpoint of mind. From the standpoint of the mind, that's great. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to ask Larry Kudlow to give a couple of examples of how strong our economy is recovering, how strongly it's recovering, and it's setting records at every level, and we're doing better than every other country. And we're very proud of all of the people for doing such an incredible job. This is a V, it's a super V. Again, we have $300 billion ready to go. All Congress has to do is say use it. If they say use it, I'd like to use it without their permission, but I guess I'm not allowed to do that. I did ask that question. So Congress has to just say use it. All they have to do is say use it. $300 billion gets immediately put into our system, and will really help the American people. There's nothing else to do, just a very quick statement. So I'm going to ask Larry to come up. I want to thank another man for being here today. There's a man that's an incredible leader, Lou Holtz. I've known him for a long time. He's been a friend of mine, and I think I've received letters from every football coach almost in the nation. Now, that's a little exaggeration, but some of the greats, Nick Saban wrote a letter, Coach O, and Coach O is central casting. I said, we're going to have to put him in a movie, right, as a football coach. He'd really be good playing a football coach like you. And Urban Meyer wrote a beautiful letter, and so many of the other great legendary coaches, not only coaches, though, people in sports and people in life, and even great political people recommending Lou for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And we've analyzed it very closely. We've looked at all of those recommendations. We've looked at Lou's life and his career and what he's done. Garrity, and the football is obvious. He was a great coach, but what he's done beyond even coaching. So Lou will be getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and a date is being picked. It won't be in the too distant future. Lou was married to a great woman, right, Lou? Great woman, and she just passed away a few months ago. Is an incredible woman. She was stronger. I knew her well. She was stronger than Lou. I think she was stronger than you, Lou. I hate to tell you, you're strong too, but she was special, right? So I just want to congratulate Coach Lou Holtz on soon to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and we look forward to that, Lou. Thank you very much. And you can stay around and listen to Larry for a couple of seconds, or go to your friend. You probably know half of the people in the room. I'll bet they treat you better than they treat me. They treat him good. I wish you'd treat me that way. Larry, come on up.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Again, Coach, many congrats. Many, many congrats. Just to underscore the President's assessment of the economy, very strong jobs report today, 8.4% unemployment rate, 1.4 million payrolls increase, but I want to add 3.8 million increase in the important household survey, which aims at small businesses particularly, and from which the unemployment is calculated. In the past 4 months, we've generated a 10.6 million increase in payrolls and a 14 million increase in households. So we've restored basically half of the jobs that were lost in the pandemic contraction. Today's report also included the lower wage industries and minority groups across the board. The diffusion index was a whopping 69%. So these gains are very, very broad-based. There's still too many people out. There's still too much hardship, still too many unemployed. And we're working on that, and we're moving in the right direction. And that's why today's numbers are encouraging and optimistic. Now, other areas that the President mentioned, just to underscore, we are in a housing boom. There can be no disagreement about that. Sales, mortgage applications, prices, home starts up 23% annually in July. We're in a car boom, automobile boom. We've gone from 8.7 million in sales to 15.2 million in sales in the recent 4 months. That's a big jump. As the President mentioned, the leading indicator of that is used car sales and prices. The manufacturing indexes are very strong. This recovery includes manufacturing. The ISM's running in the high 50s. The new order index is at 68. Production index is 63. We had a manufacturing report for durables, core durables. Over the past 3 months, orders up 35%, shipments up 35%. So these are very strong numbers. New business applications from 25,000 to 66,000. It's a 160% gain through August. And as the President referred, consumer spending is booming. We're up 84% annually over the past 3 months. My view, of course, we are in a V-shaped recovery. It is a self-sustaining recovery. High demand, increased production and manufacturing, along with decline in inventories, will give us a tremendous momentum going into the second half of the year. I still reckon that the third quarter will be at least 20% growth. The Atlanta Fed's GDP Now index is close to 30%. I think 20% is a good number. I think the whole second half and next year, provided that economic policies remain pro-growth. And I just want to mention one thing on the policy front. I simply don't understand the other side wanting a $4 trillion tax increase after a deep pandemic contraction. And on this point, I believe vast majority of economists, I don't care if you're a Keynesian, demand sider, supply sider, you just don't raise taxes by this amount or by any amount really, but $4 trillion, really picking the pockets of taxpayers who are returning to work now and need all the resources they can get. You just don't do it. The profession should be have a complete consensus on that. And so I'm quite surprised, and I think that is a potential obstacle, and people are beginning to speak about that. But all I can say is, factually, the numbers are coming in very positively. There's a lot of optimism going on. More work to be done, but we're rolling in the right direction, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, please.
Thank you, President Trump. If I could first ask you a clarifying question about the $300 billion.
Yeah.
You've ruled out doing that unilaterally. You're going to wait for Congress to repurpose it for stimulus checks.
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, is that correct? You're waiting for
Well,
Congress?
there's a theory that I can do it without the approval, but I'd rather get the approval so that we have it. But there's a theory I could take the $300 billion. It's money that we have, money that we've built up, and money that we haven't spent, and I would love to give it to the American people as a very powerful stimulus. So, yeah, I think there is a theory that I could do it without having to go back, but I think it would be appropriate to go back, and I would ask Congress to approve it. It's a very simple approval. It's literally, it's a one-sentence approval, and the Democrats should do that. The Republicans will do that. They'd be glad to do that. So we'll see whether or not they do it, okay? Please, in the back.
Yes, Mr. President, our editor-in-chief, John Solomon, had an exclusive interview with the head of the Delaware Fraternal Order of Police chapter. He said that they were going to endorse you instead of their native son, Joe Biden. I'd like your response, as well as the National Organization of the Fraternal Order of Police is endorsing you as well.
Well, I'm honored that Delaware, because I don't see Biden anywhere but Delaware. He's, and I like Delaware too, but to have the law enforcement in Delaware give their endorsement to me is really a great honor. It's really, it just shows you how pathetic the Democrats are when it comes to crime, when it comes to law and order. So would you please extend my very great thanks? It's a great honor to get it from Delaware law enforcement. We've gotten it from almost all law enforcement, but that's because every time I see Biden speak, it says Delaware, Delaware, Delaware. He never leaves. I'm all over the country. I'm all over the place. Yeah, please. Go ahead. Did you have? Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Thanks, Mr. President. Germany has said that Alexei Navalny, the Russian opposition leader, was poisoned. What do you think should be done to Russia about that? What is your message to Russia about that? And how should the international community and the United States respond?
Well, I think we have to look at it very seriously if it's the case, and I think we will. There's nobody been tougher in Russia than I have. We get along. I get along with almost all countries. I get along with North Korea. Remember, we were supposed to be going to war with North Korea. If Hillary got elected, you'd be at war right now with North Korea. That would be a very messy war, a very bad war. Many millions of people would be killed. In the meantime, we've gotten along with them. We didn't get to war. Everyone said that if I was elected, I'd be at war in 1 week. It's been just the opposite. We're doing very well in Afghanistan, bringing the troops down, very low level. And other things are happening very interestingly. We have a great peace deal going on in the Middle East, actually, with UAE and Israel, and that's been received like probably very few things that many people have done. It's been very well received. And we'll be having other countries announcing soon they're joining that. And you're going to have a lot of countries in that. A lot of countries are saying, hey, why didn't you bring us in right from the beginning? They would have loved to have been there, but they want to be in. So we're doing a lot of things. I think that I was the one that alerted the United States and the world, Nord Stream 2. I said, why is Germany spending billions and billions of dollars to Russia to get their energy from Russia, and then we're supposed to protect Germany from Russia? What's that all about? And the sanctions and everything else. At the same time with Russia, we're right now negotiating a nuclear non-proliferation treaty, which is very important. It's a very important thing. To me, it's the most important thing. Some people say global warming. I don't. I say this is far more important. And we are the biggest. They are the second biggest, nuclear-wise. China's third. They're actually a distant third, but they're building pretty rapidly. And at some point, we'll include China into those talks, but we're doing very well with Russia on nuclear non-proliferation. So I don't know exactly what happened. I think it's tragic. It's terrible. It shouldn't happen. We haven't had any proof yet, but I will take a look. It is interesting that everybody's always mentioning Russia, and I don't mind you mentioning Russia, but I think probably China at this point is a nation that you should be talking about much more so than Russia, because the things that China is doing are far worse. If you take a look at what's happening with the world, look at what happened with the China virus. Look at what they did by not keeping that within the confines of China. They should have kept it in the confines of China. Look what they've done to 188 countries all over the world, but you never ask about China. You're always asking about Russia. So I would be very angry if that's the case, and we'll take a look at the numbers and the documents, because we're going to be sent a lot of documents over the next few days.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Please, Vivek.
Thank you, Mr. President. During the conventions, During the conventions, Kimberly and Don Julia had an outreach to the Indian Americans community with a video called 4 More Years for You, which has gone viral among the Indian Americans in the battleground states. So my question is, would Kimberly, Don Julia, and Ivanka Trump, who are very popular among Indian Americans, would be campaigning on your behalf among the Indian Americans with your views on India-US relationship?
Well, I didn't understand everything you said. I know India, and I understood those young people that you mentioned. They're very good young people. And I know their relationship to India is very good, and so is mine. And Prime Minister Modi is a friend of mine, and he's doing a very good job. Nothing easy, but he's doing a very good job. We're talking, I mean, while we're at it, we're talking about China and India going at it pretty good on the border, as you know. It's been very nasty. It's been a very nasty situation. And we stand ready to help with respect to China and India. If we can do anything, we would love to get involved and help, and we are talking to both countries about that. But I appreciate your nice sentiments. They think a lot of India, and so do I, and I think a lot of your Prime Minister. Thank you.
So my question was about Indian Americans. Do you think they are voting for you? Are they supporting you?
I do. We had an event in Houston, as you know, and it was a fantastic event. I was invited by Prime Minister Modi, and this was a massive. This was at where they play football, the Houston football team, and it was incredible. It was actually incredible, and the Prime Minister could not have been more generous. We have great support from India. We have great support from Prime Minister Modi, and I would think that the people, Indian people, would be voting for Trump. I also, as you know, went to India just prior to the pandemic setting in, because India's been hit. Not. I hope not, but they're certainly going at it. They're going at it much more strongly than a lot of people even understand. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. Just to follow up on Alexei Novotny, you just said you haven't had any proof yet. Do you have any reasons to doubt the results from Germany?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. I hear Germany has made was it definitive or almost definitive? But we have not seen it ourselves, no. But we have not seen it ourselves. But I would certainly be okay with that. They want to do something. They want to take action. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. But again, we are working very closely with a lot of countries on a lot of different things. We've taken stronger action against Russia than any other country in the world, as you know. I'll tell you, President Putin would tell you that right now. But the fact that I get along with Russia and that I get along, frankly, with everybody. Right now, I'm not getting along with China, but that's my choice. I don't like what happened with respect to the pandemic, with respect to the China virus. I don't like it at all. What they've done to this world and this country and Europe and every place else is terrible. But I do get along with President Putin. But I've been tougher on Russia than anybody else by far. If you look at the Obama administration, they were weak. Look at the land they gave up. Look at what happened with respect to Ukraine. Such a big part of Ukraine given up during the Obama administration. And I don't think they would have done that with me. I don't think they would have done that with me at all. We gave tank busters and they gave pillows. Did you ever hear that expression? They sent pillows and we sent tank busters to Ukraine. So, but with that being said, if we can do a nuclear non-proliferation agreement, that would be a great thing. No, but I would not be at all happy if that were the case. And it looks like it might very well be the case. I mean, based on what Germany is saying, that seems to be the case. John?
Mr. President, I want to ask you about something you said a while back. It's been talked about many, many times. Back in 2015, you said that you didn't think John McCain was a hero, that you prefer people who don't get captured. In light of all that's happened since then and all you've learned, do you regret saying that? Is it something you wish you had not said?
I say what I say, and I never got along with John McCain. I disagreed with John McCain. You know that better than anybody, frankly. I wasn't a fan. I disagreed with many of his views. I disagreed with his views on these ridiculous, endless wars. I disagreed with the way he handled the vets, the VA. The VA is running much better now, and we did with the Mission Act and the accountability and all the things we've done for the VA. He was not able to do that, but I disagreed with John McCain on a lot of things. That doesn't mean I don't respect him. I respected him, but I really disagreed with him on a lot of things, and I think I was right. I think time has proven me right to a large extent.
This notion of preferring people who want to capture,
Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier in the statement that you read before questions, you spoke about how you believe that we're, as you put it, rounding the corner on the coronavirus pandemic.
I do believe that, yeah.
You said that yesterday as well, and I think everybody would love to see the pandemic come to an end. There's no doubt about that. But I wanted to ask you about a forecast that has come out from the IHME at the University of Washington. And they are forecasting by January the 1st of next year that we'll have 410,000 American deaths from coronavirus, which is 225,000 from where we are right now. So can you explain how you see us rounding the corner based upon that projection?
If I didn't close up our country, if I didn't stop China, highly infected, from coming in, if I didn't stop Europe from coming in far sooner than anybody else, including Dr. Fauci and others, wanted to, and Dr. Fauci was very nice. He said President Trump made a great decision. We would have far more than that. But maybe even more importantly, if I didn't close up, we would have, instead of the number that you mentioned or whatever it may be, we're about 180, we would have perhaps 1.5 or 2 million deaths right now if I went a different direction, which some people wanted me to do, and I decided not to do it. We'd have 2 million deaths. Now, a lot of countries don't report their deaths. Obviously, China's not reporting because they had far more than we did. China had far more deaths than we did, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But they don't report their deaths, or they don't report them accurately. And I don't want to embarrass other countries, but I can tell you there are other countries where the death toll is far higher than the United States, but they don't report deaths. We report it to a level that nobody reports it. We also do testing in cases. I watch your broadcasts and I read your information, your media outlets very, very carefully, and I look at the word cases. And the reason, I say it 100 times, nobody wants to pick it up, but we do testing at a level that nobody ever dreamed possible. We have the best tests, and we have by far the most tests. Actually, India, as per your question before, India is number 2, and they've done a good job, but they're about 40 million tests behind us, and they're a country of 1.5 billion people. Now, because of all these tests, we have far more cases. If we cut our cases in half, if we cut our testing in half, we'd probably have about half the number of cases. If we cut it down to levels, there are some countries that don't test. They test when somebody walks into a hospital. That's the test you get. They walk into a hospital, they're sick, that's your test. We have tested more and better, and you just see where we now have millions of tests coming in from a certain company that's done a fantastic job, and it's going to be anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes on the spot, very accurate test. But if we had much less testing, no testing, you wouldn't be reporting cases. But you saw this, I don't want to go over the statistics, you all wrote it down, but you see how we're doing compared to the rest of the world, and you see, and if you took out New York, which has been a tragic situation, with the amount of people that died in New York.
You can't just simply take out a major state in the U.S. It's still a part of the United States, New York is.
No, I'm just saying.
If take it out of the equation.
I'm just saying, New York has been in particular run, whether it's badly, incompetently, or whether it's unfortunate, and I appreciated Governor Cuomo saying that I've done a phenomenal job, and he said very good things. He said bad things too, you know, later on when he had no really other choice. But if you took out New York from those numbers, you can multiply our tremendous success by a lot. But look, the bottom line is that the job we've done on COVID-19 or the China virus, China plague, call it whatever you want, there are a lot of different names, but it's been incredible. We've also helped a lot of other countries, especially with ventilators, because we are now, you know, we build ventilators at a level that nobody ever thought possible. So
you don't see that forecast being accurate, the one that I cited to you.
Yeah, but you didn't hear me. If we didn't do what I said, we would be at 2 million deaths right now.
Taking that into account, it's just going forward.
No, they're not taking that into account. I had a choice to make. If we made the wrong choice, the number that you have, which is less than other countries, but the other countries don't report deaths. They don't report them to the extent, and they're not accurate. You know that, and so do I. Because we have, you take a look at some of the things happening in certain other very large countries. First of all, we're a very large country. But you take a look at things happening with respect to the reporting of deaths in other countries, and I say, give me a break. So it's been amazing, but we made some moves at the beginning. China, big, Europe, big, but the biggest of all was closing it down, understanding the disease, and we did, and now we know it's the elderly, it's especially elderly if they have heart, diabetes, if they have problems, and we're watching it, and we're watching it very closely. And by the way, we're doing super testing with respect to that, super testing. But if we did it a different way, instead of the number that you said, but basically the number that we're at now is approximately 180,000, we'd be at 2 million people right now. Could be higher than that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I don't know anything about the Russia vaccine. I'm not sure. We have our vaccine, and our vaccine is, I think it's going to be the standard. It's going to be great. These companies are incredible. They've come up with the great vaccines over the years, and that's the vaccine that probably most of the people in this room are going to want to take, right?
Thanks, Mr. President. A quick clarification on my question. The $300 billion, is that from the Main Street lending program, or is that from a different part? Where are you?
It's sitting in an account, has not been spent, but we're willing to spend it. No, we're willing to spend it. I'd like to get approval from Congress. There's a theory that I don't have to do that, but I'd rather be up front, and I'd like to get approval from Congress. Let it go directly to the people. It would be a great stimulus. It's actually more stimulus than we're asking for in terms of pure stimulus. This would be pure stimulus. I wouldn't have to let prisoners go, some very evil prisoners go. Like, think of it. The Democrats, in order to get what they want and in order to give us what they're talking about allowing prisoners to be released, prisoners that we don't want to be released. So in order that we get money to the American people, they want to say release prisoners and other things like that are very bad. And we just can't do that. We don't want to do that.
And then just to follow on John's question, I know you spoke earlier about the Atlantic story, and you referenced the number of administration officials who have come out to support your...
No, we have 11 people. I was just told we have 11 people. There is nobody that feels more strongly about our soldiers, our wounded warriors, our soldiers that died in war than I do. It's a hoax. Just like the fake dossier was a hoax. Just like the Russia was a hoax. It was a total hoax, no collusion. Just like so many other things, it's a hoax. And you'll hear more of these things, totally unrelated, as we get closer and closer to election. The magazine is a failing magazine, and nobody called me. Nobody called me from the magazine, said, "Do you have a comment about it?" No, they just write whatever they want to write because they figure you can't get sued. You can get sued, but it's a very hard bringing lawsuits. But we have many witnesses, and it's just a continuation of the witch hunt so that it can hopefully affect the election. But the American people are too smart. So whether it's the fake dossier that turned out to be a total fraud or so many other things have turned out. I've been under investigation from before I even got elected. These people have gone after me more than any president in the United States in history, in the history of the United States. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And despite that, we've done more in the first 3.5 years than any administration. There's been no administration that's done more. When you add it all up, there's been no, despite all of the horrible political games that have been played, but there's nobody that's been able to do what I've done. And that includes the Great Mission Act, because what Obama passed was a joke. It was a joke. And we took it to a level that nobody thought possible. And that includes accountability. So it's a disgrace that somebody's allowed to write things like that. It could have been, a lot of times the sources aren't sources that don't exist. And sometimes the sources are just people that are disgruntled former so-called employees.
Well, my question is sort of about that. I mean, the notable voice that's been missing from the denials is your former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, who was obviously intimately involved in this. How are we supposed to read the fact that John
Here's
Kelly
the thing.
hasn't?
I know John Kelly. He was with me, didn't do a good job, had no temperament, and ultimately he was petered out. He was exhausted. This man was totally exhausted. He wasn't even able to function in the last number of months. He was not able to function. He was sort of a tough guy. By the time he got eaten up in this world, it's a different world than he was used to, he was unable to function. And I told him, "John, you're going to have to go. Please give me a letter of resignation." And we did that. And now he goes out and badmouths. Now, there are people that are jealous. There are people that are upset that they're not here anymore. There are people that we've done an incredible job. The virus came in, and now we're doing an incredible job again. We're going to build it up bigger than it was before the virus came in. But I don't know that it was him. I haven't seen that. I mean, I see anonymous, but it could have been a guy like a John Kelly. Because he was, just so you understand, he was a very, you look at some of his news conferences, what happened to him. He got eaten alive. He was unable to handle the pressure of this job. This job was a tough job. Mark Meadows doing a great job. But Kelly was unable to do that. And as far as that day, I mean, we have so much proof as to going to I went to Paris and the environs, and I was all set to go. They had a rainstorm, the likes of which you've rarely seen. The fog was so great. It was as dense as I've ever seen, and I almost knew that you couldn't use the helicopter. And because they had to drive through, I guess, certain parts of Paris, the Secret Service, who, by the way, we have people here that were on the trip. They're writing a report, unable to even think about it. And I said, "Nope, I want to go. I insist on going." It would have taken us forever. The Paris police said, "Please, you can't do this." They'd have to shut down various parts of Paris. And it just was not a possible situation. The helicopter would have been very quick. They had the helicopter all set, but the helicopter could never fly in that kind of weather. So, and that turned out, and that's all documented, by the way. We have all of the information from, and probably will release that information. But I think it's a shame when a second-rate magazine, I don't read it. I know very little about this magazine, but when a second-rate magazine can write things like that about somebody that's done so much for the military, can write things like that and get away with it, where you actually ask questions on it, it's a disgrace. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And let me just tell you, I watched the interview with Sleepy Joe Biden, and he didn't ask questions. You didn't ask questions like that. Read the questions, yes. They were like meant for a child. Those questions were meant for a child. Smiles on faces of reporters, not like you and you. They were smiles on the reporters. What do you think? Take a look at those questions that they asked him. They were not meant for a grown-up. They were meant for a child. So I just want to tell you, it's a disgrace, because you look at what I've done for the United States military. I love those people. I've gotten them pay raises when they didn't get.
Aquí queda demostrado que no solo no por ser mujer tiene sensibilidad. Actúa como lo peor. Como está escrito en las calles, la paca no es tu compañera. La paca no es tu compañera. ¡Culiao, la mensa guata! Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido, dice la canción. Pero este pueblo no solo que debe estar unido, debe estar en una disposición de lucha y de combate permanente, decidido, radical contra un modelo de angustia, un modelo que atormenta a las personas día a día, las atormenta, las destruye psicológica y moralmente, producto del hambre, el estrés, las preocupaciones.
Somos más, recádenla, recádenla. Somos más, recádenla. Buena, buena, esto está buena, esto está buena. Buena.
¡Nosotros somos caleta!
¡Somos más!
Reaparecieron los gases tóxicos en la plaza, no lo habíamos visto en estas últimas semanas. Junto, por supuesto, a los infaltables guanacos que se han encargado de mojar a todos los manifestantes acá en la plaza. Viernes 4 de septiembre del año 2020, celebrando los 50 años del triunfo del presidente Allende y con la represión. Ven ustedes que esos tubitos que tienen los pacos son tóxicos. Ese es el que me acaba de tirar uno de estos personajes, me acaba de tirar y sin razón, y para eso lo ocupan, para tirárselo a nosotros en el cuerpo, a otros se lo tiran en los ojos. Estamos transmitiendo en vivo para que ustedes vean la actitud de esta policía que no respeta y por supuesto están con todas las ganas de tirarnos gas, llevarnos detenidos. Se contienen por las credenciales, a veces. Bueno, y ustedes escuchan a la distancia la música de Radio Plaza de la Dignidad. Desde los estudios acá en el corazón de la revuelta. Queremos una nueva constitución a través de una asamblea constituyente libre, soberana, originaria, que funde de verdad un nuevo Chile. Transmitiendo desde el corazón de la revuelta y en un día de celebración y conmemoración histórico, Radio Plaza de la Dignidad.
Un Chile diferente, porque esta vez no se trata de cambiar presidente, será el pueblo quien construya un Chile diferente.
¡Cuidado, cabro!
Como, bueno, hola de nuevo a todas y todos quienes se conectan a esta transmisión desde la izquierda diario. Como les mostramos recién, y bueno, como pueden observar ahora igual, está lleno de efectivos represivos de la policía, donde han intentado sacar a la gente de la Plaza de Dignidad a punta de carro lanzagua, a punta de represión, bueno, lo que es habitual de esta institución, pero no han podido, pese a alguna disminución de...
It's fine. Jason and I are the same person. Don't worry about it. Weather is gorgeous, for the record.
Listen up. Look around right now. This is unity right here, right now. This is change right here, right now. I love y'all. 100 days. We love you back. We love y'all. You good?
So there have been rumors of some out-of-town live streamers being in town. I have seen a number of people today that got cameras. We got a number of people with cameras out here today that I haven't seen before, so I'm not sure if they're the out-of-town streamers or not.
Mike check! Mike check! Listen up! If you need a medic, put an X over your arms. Everybody do it right now. This is a symbol. If you need a medic, okay? You need to know that. People in the back, keep an eye on people in the back too, because those are the most likely the people that need medics.
And I'm here to pray for anyone.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name. Breonna Taylor!
Breonna Taylor!
Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor!
probably grown over 200 at this point. Might be pushing 250. Let me get a little bit better shot of kind of this crowd. Matthew Ballard. Hello. So yeah, again, if I had to guess, I'd say there's probably about 250 people out here at this point. Don, I don't know what New York people you are referring to.
ahí podemos ver como fuerte contingente avanzó llevándose detenidos a manifestantes que se encontraban en la Plaza Dignidad. Por lo menos tres piquetes a pie, más carros avanzaron. Pero acá está la demostración de un Chile que no estaba para nada dormido, sino solamente se estaba cuidando. Bueno, los dejamos hasta acá y nos estamos comunicando en caso de cualquier cosa o nuevo suceso. No olviden seguirnos a través de las redes de la izquierda diario, como les mencionaba en Twitter, lit-Chile, y en Instagram la izquierda diario CL. Eso.
Entiendo, y todos debemos entender que deben existir policías en todas partes del mundo, ok, sí. Pero a este nivel, como lo tenemos en Chile, acá se debe hacer una transformación completa desde los inicios, desde la formación, que por 6 meses no te pueden formar para ser carabinero. Qué vergüenza. Veamos qué pasa en Plaza Italia. Estoy a una cuadra más o menos. Por más que hayan dispersado un grupo grande, aparece por otro lado, desde los 4 puntos cardinales, amigos, el otro grupo. Bueno, no podía ser de otra forma. Este es el primer viernes de septiembre. Septiembre, un mes marcado en la historia de Chile. Andan con lagrimógenas de mano. Acabo de apreciar. Andan helicópteros también. Bueno. Pero pude apreciar, yo sé que no se vio en la cámara. Ah, y lo tienen una. Andan con un gas, el gas pimienta que tienen en las manos. Por otro sector del parque forestal siguen las escaramuzas. Esto se volvió campal ya. Bueno, acá está pesadísimo el aire. Acá tiraron gas pimienta. Ay, viene para acá. Lo que les decía, amigos, los amigos de Derechos Humanos y las brigadas de emergencia y salud acá están en la explanada del Teatro Universidad de Chile. Acá por lo menos está un poco más tranquilo. A nuestra altura anda merodeando un helicóptero. Habitual ya en las manifestaciones cuando se reunían cantidades grandes. Pero mira, hoy día de calcular, me es difícil calcular cuánta gente llegó hoy día, porque como está muy disperso.
Looks like we will not be stopping at 4th Street Live this time.
You can't stop the revolution!
Or maybe we will be. Maybe we will be.
What were you thinking in West Kentucky? Huh? New Derby. We need Derby. Kentucky Derby Derby. We need to be getting there. Fucking
Well, there we go. There we go. I was actually saying that. I was like, oh, I guess we're not going to stop at 4th Street Live this time. Yeah.
All these rich dirty Fuck Derby! I don't know where to go.
One thing I am noticing is that organizers appear to be telling people to keep moving along. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, y'all. Somebody just jumped over one of these barricades and totally biffed it on the end. I really wish I had been able to show that. Again, we see the organizers keeping people moving, making sure that nothing happens. We're not looking for, any sort of, what is this guy? I guess he says he couldn't climb. Yeah, all right. All right. Dude crawled under it. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled march. Excuse me, excuse me. Not here to talk about abortion. So we're just not going to talk about that because that's not the topic of the moment.
It's probably unplugged.
That's what the last time the other girl, mine was working and yours wasn't on her phone.
Let me switch them.
I got the official real Apple charger phone.
Is yours working now? Try it.
Nope.
It's not? Let's see if mine's charging. Mine's charging. Is yours?
No, I think. Oh yeah, it is.
It is? Alright, we're. I was gonna lose my mind. There we go.
This is an economic war. That's why y'all want folks out here today. Austin Morano is a snitch. And it's our job to bring that pain right down to them so they can feel it too. That's our responsibility.
He's scaring them a
So we're
snitch.
going to ask them. And then we're going to demand from them.
It's just funny at this point.
Justice!
What do you want?
Justice!
tried it again. You're gonna get tangled. You got it.
Thanks for being here.
Cuidado, cuidado. ¡Viva la patria! Como dijera, se me fue la onda, pero aquí estamos. Canelo, hay que escuchar a Carola Canelo, escuchémosla, escúchale, le invito a compartir con Carola Canelo. ¿Qué tiene ahí para adentro? ¿Qué es lo que hay ahí? ¿Qué lo cuénteme? ¿Qué dice arriba? Arauco tiene una pena, por supuesto. Arauco tiene una pena que no la puedo callar. Son injusticias del siglo que todos ven aplicar. Nadie le ha puesto un remedio, pudiendo remediar. Levantan todo. Perdón, pues no. Un día llegó. Un día. Déjame ponerle a la luz un poquito, papá. Aquí, espérate, déjala ahí nomás. Yo soy cieguito. Un día. Ahí sí, aquí está. Aquí a este lado está. Un día llegó de lejos, buen cufe conquistador, buscando montañas de oro que el indio nunca buscó. Al indio le basta el oro, que le renuncia del sol.
Excuse me, ma'am.
The people want to hear from Hannah. We need some. We ain't finished. The people. I don't want to say another motherfucking man. I don't want to say another motherfucking man.
Hannah is the one sitting there. She is the one who was injured.
I'm hearing this is the Kentucky that I do not know. I'm tired of hearing that we are better than this. In fact, Kentucky, this is you.
This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all sold black people down the Ohio River. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all lynched 162 people. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all enslaved black people to pick your crops. This is my old Kentucky home, where 23% of white males own slaves. This is my old Kentucky home, where you rejected the right to amend slavery. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all still singing that bullshit song about slavery and Derby. Fuck that song. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all murdered a 26-year-old black woman in her sleep. Talk about it. This is my old Kentucky home, where you tried to pin her murder on her boyfriend. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all tried to get her ex to sell her out. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all make up laws but we can't even walk in the fucking sidewalk. This is my old Kentucky home, where y'all put gates all around Derby. Show up tomorrow. No justice, no fucking Derby.
Are we going back this way? Which way are we going? That way.
They're blocking down there. So LMPD has showed up down the street.
Let's go. Hey, we're going to have to go straight because there's too many cars that way. And I ain't leaving nobody. So we're going this way. Hey, scoot over. There were a couple cars up front. You can't stop the revolution. 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 You can't stop the revolution.
Getting things going again here.
Let's go! Let's go!
All the cars go! Go! All right, let's go! Let's go, people! People, let's go! Let's go! We do not need to talk to them right now. Let's go! Fuck off!
Y'all just gotta come and do something. We ain't doing shit.
We're not doing anything.
Y'all 5 minutes too late.
Hey, Travis! Travis! Hey, Travis! Hey, this is for everybody right here. If y'all with us, we going this fucking way. If they want to fucking help, they can take us back to the fucking square.
Told y'all don't get out the march, you dummy. Told y'all don't get
help us out.
Block the traffic if you want to help.
Told y'all to get out the don't come down. We got to do flags.
Fuck all that conversation with the police, dog.
I was telling them for the last 2 minutes. I was screaming to the police.
Right, we're supposed to be right here.
You back here. Exactly. No, we supporting you on this, bro.
So obviously LMPD finally decided to show up. Of course, March was already on its way to continuing. But stopped for a moment. Hey, Summer. Whoops. Nope. Nope, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Cut through this parking lot to get ahead a bit. Don't need a permit to march. You can just do it.
One lane, everybody. Please stay in one lane. Media on the sidewalk. One lane. One lane. Everybody that's supporting this lane. Please stay on one lane. Stay on the right side of the yellow line.
Okay. Yeah, they're up. That's the ones that came to check us down there, I think.
Take it to the streets to find the police. Take it to the streets to find the police. One lane. In the right lane. Right lane. Right lane.
I don't know if you saw everything that I said.
I really haven't read everybody's
That's
message,
fine.
but you're fine.
I just want to say to you in person, I understand now. I just, at the time, I didn't have any other intent other than...
On the stage, so I'm not going to dig myself a hole and name them, but I do want to name the organizers who've been here on the ground day and night helping us do this. So let's give Anthony Hall a round of applause. Organizers, and he's like our in-house hype man, right?
Please, let's keep going.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Right lane, keep going. Stay in one lane, y'all. Just keep going. One lane, please. Keep going. Right lane.
I want to take a moment to one hold space for him and then just do some chants and honor him, because y'all know if he was here, it would be lit already. City's gonna lead us because you know that's humble.
Alright, here go the chant right here. It's Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day. Free J, Free J. It's fuck talk every day.
So I want to talk a little bit about Daniel Prude and who he was and why we're here. And I also want to acknowledge that Daniel Prude, we saw his video, but we got to see his. There are many more just like him right in Rochester, rest assured. So while we march tonight and while we take time to hold space for him, let us remember that there are so many other people and individuals in Rochester just like Daniel Prude that we have no idea about. So as many of you know, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the video, but Daniel Prude moved to Rochester from Chicago the morning of March 23rd. The night of March 23rd, his family felt like somebody must have put something in one of his drinks. He had never had a history of psychotic episodes, and they called the police because they wanted to take their brother to the hospital. The police ended up coming. They took his brother to the hospital, and 2 hours later, Strong Hospital let him out again. He came back home and continued with the same, irrational behavior, and his family was again worried. They called the police again and asked the police to get their brother and take him to the hospital. You guys haven't seen all of the footage, but we know, because we've seen it, in the footage you can see where Mr. Joe, who is Daniel Prude's brother, says to the officers, "My brother isn't a threat to anyone but himself. Do not kill my brother." Literally. 20 minutes later on that same film, we see the officers coming back to tell Mr. Joe that his brother is dead. What we know happened, because we saw the video, is that Daniel was walking down the street, maybe acting irrational, which is not a crime. We know that people, and specifically white people, have psychotic breaks all the time and live. The police was called, the police was dispatched, and what we know is in response to the police being called, Daniel Prude was murdered. They put a bag over his head and did a diamond push-up on his neck and suffocated him. He died on the scene and spent 7 days on life support before they pulled the plug. He was brain dead on the scene. We know Daniel Prude's story because we've seen the video. But there are so many more, not only in Rochester, but across this nation, just like Daniel Prude, that we will never, ever, ever know of. So if you're black and you're marching tonight, I want you to take this opportunity to hold space for your brothers and your sisters, because it's not just black men that's being murdered by the police. It's black women as well. Black people in general.
Can you clear out, please?
So as we march tonight, as we encounter the police, because we will, they are prepared. I want you to know why we're marching. And if you are white, I want you to be reminded of your privilege while you're marching. I want you to be reminded that you don't have to worry when your children walk out the door if they're going to return home. You don't have to worry if your children are going to be choked out and killed by the police. And then I want you to think about ways and opportunity you can leverage your privilege. And tonight, one of the most basic ways you can leverage your privilege is to put your body on the line for black people. So if you've been protesting with us for the last 15 weeks,
you know that we go around and we introduce ourselves. There are so many amazing organizers here from both Rochester and across the state. So you're gonna hear a lot of introductions tonight. And these people are the people on the ground protecting your civil liberties. These people are the people on the ground writing policy and going to Albany pushing for democracy. These are the people putting their bodies and their lives on the line every single day. These people are the people whose children sacrifice their time because we're out here doing this work for the generations to come behind us. So as everyone introduce themselves and talk about the reason why we do this work, please give them a round of applause. And I'm gonna go last because I've been talking too much.
Can y'all hear me? My name is Ilhan. You've probably seen me around. I would say I'm happy to be here, but I'm not because we shouldn't have to do this. I'm here to defund the motherfucking police. I mean, I truly want to abolish them, but we could start with defund.
And
yeah, her brothers definitely would fit that kind of stereotype. That the police would, arrest or kill without any kind of due process or warning. And obviously that fucks with me and that worries me. I mean, I guess it's an interesting question because I'm not so much out here for myself. It's more just like for other people, to support other people, and to support the people that I grew up with, all my friends of different backgrounds, races, whatever. I was always raised, to be with colorblind.
Attention, viewers of international protests. This is declared an unlawful assembly. Please just sit there while you wait for arrest or citation or use of force, including impact munitions or tear gas. But my real announcement is there are hundreds of streams I'm seeing. I can't submit them because Facebook thinks I'm a bot. So if you guys could get your little typing fingers out and go get them, that'd be great. Otherwise, please go hydrate. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Peace out, Cub Scout.
Most positive, more recently, we were at a car vigil, I guess. It was for Anthony McLean, the man who was murdered in Pasadena. And it ended off, we went through Pasadena, my sister and I, we were in a car, sort of trying our best to protect the protesters and stuff from other cars and from idiots, because there were idiots.
What do you mean by being in a car and protecting the protesters from cars?
Well, that's sort of what we were told to do, acting as support. If you have people in cars as you're marching, as you're protesting, they can carry supplies, they can carry people if need be, and they can just, they add an extra barrier for anyone who might want to try something stupid. I mean,
you drove behind it, and so people can't drive through the protesters.
Basically, yeah, behind it and on the side, just very slowly following people. But anyway, the most memorable part of that, getting to that, was we finished at the Pasadena Police Department, and there was a candlelight vigil where they brought a bunch of candles out that we lit, and it was awesome. But then, in this crazy I don't really know. There's this woman who was there. Her son was murdered by, I think, either the police or the sheriffs, 4 years ago, a long time ago. His name was Eric Rivera, and I'm not sure. It wasn't Pasadena. I think it was South LA somewhere. But she was there because she had gotten in touch with the organizers of BLM Pasadena, and it was this really cool and awesome coming together of just all the ethnicities, all races,
Listen, I can't see. If I come up to you, I can't see. I can't see. I'm telling you the truth, bro. I can't see it. Why you can't say your name? Why you can't say it? I'm standing here until I get his name, and if he leaves, then guess what? I'm gonna still be here, but I'm gonna ask him continuously for his name and badge.
I just said it.
He's smoking. He's smoking. He's smoking. It's against his policy. Yeah, and you know that. Come on, man. Y'all know that, man. All these white shirts out here, and y'all gonna let this man smoke? None of y'all gonna honor your oath. This man is over here smoking. Come on, man. Is that professional? Is it professional?
Yes.
Is it professional bad? Man, you making yourself look bad. That is not professional. That is not professional.
The man has an
That is not. You gotta wait till he get up. Give him a break. Give him a break. Give him. Nobody you say that. That's a lie. But now we on break because you just said it. But you just said it. You just said all these. They all on break. Everybody on break. Everybody on break. Put your hands up. Y'all on break. You on break, sir? Not right now. You's a goddamn liar. You's a damn liar. He ain't on break. You said everybody on break. Oh my God, man.
Keep trying to pull the wool over my eyes, don't you?
Listen, what I know is that it's legal for you to lie. I do know that.
You know that?
Yeah, I do know that. It's legal for you to lie. But you're telling that you're lying the wrong way. You can only lie to me. You can only lie to get information out of me. You're lying, saying they was on break and they not on break. And I know he ain't on break neither. But I gotta let that one slide because you said he was on break. Yep. Roll out, Blue Bloods, roll out. Roll out, Blue Bloods, roll out. Two minutes out, 20 minutes ago.
They're up there. They're up there. Big cat. Ah.
77090. So you said I was badgering because I needed his name and badge? Asking for a name and badge is badgering?
Are you talking to me now again?
Yeah, I'm addressing you now. I'm addressing you.
So when I try to have a conversation...
Yeah, but you interrupted me. I was talking over there and you came and interrupted. You can't interrupt. We can sing at the same time, but we can't all talk at the same time.
So now since you stopped talking, you asked me a question, right? And I answered your question. Now, you're saying that you didn't ask me, you did.
You said I was badgering him, right? You did say that, right?
Yes.
How was I badgering him? By asking him for his name and badge? That every private citizen has a right to do?
You're right. But his supervisor gave you his answer. That should have been...
No, he gave me his name. He didn't give me his name.
That's what I said. You gotta listen, brother. You gotta listen.
No, because he gave me the answer don't mean it's right. You think I'm supposed to... Wait a minute. Do you think I'm supposed to say, oh, okay, Spicer, I'm cool with that? No, I got the problem with him. Come on, man. Anytime you could trade your skin color, back to brown. You can change it back to brown by taking that uniform off. At any time. You don't. You think so? I think you traded in your skin color for blue.
Okay, and I'm glad you think that.
I think that. That's what I believe. I believe.
I get that.
I like this guy.
You want to explain to me your policy and procedures as far as smoking on the job? I didn't get a clear answer.
Yeah.
Officers, do you think that's professional?
I don't know, it depends, man. I don't smoke, but if someone smokes, why not?
You guys all stick up for each other no matter what, right? That's the name of the game, right? It's the name. It is the.
So you can't smoke, right? Is the smoking bothering you?
I just don't think it's professional. He's in its official capacity. He's supposed to act accordingly whenever he's in that uniform. And smoking is not professional. Yeah, it's a small thing, but you guys are out here in abundance right now. You got one dude.
His ability to do his job?
Huh?
Does it affect his
It could. It could. That shit could go straight to his heart. And then when he get the radio call that say going down, he could go down. Ah. Good point, right?
We could die any day, man.
It is, you
When our
know.
number's called, it's called, man.
What's your name and badge?
First name's Tim, last name's Stefan, badge 8808.
My man. My man. Oh, shit, you creeping up on me. Yeah, you sliding up on me.
Where you come from?
God damn, let me get out of here, man. Y'all too friendly. I don't like y'all. I like cops that would want to slam me to the ground. Y'all acting like pussies right now. I holler at y'all. All right. Y'all ain't slamming nobody to the ground tonight. I'm out of here. God damn. I'm in a sea of cops. I don't even know which way I could go out. Hey. You the fattest motherfucker over here talking about food. God damn. You the fattest motherfucker over here talking about food. You got all this time. They ain't got no fucking food over here. You hungry as shit, ain't you? All right, y'all, so that's a wrap on the protest here at City Hall, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hey, how y'all doing? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A lot of protests just went down. They still out here. The police are still out here. So I'm still out here.
Thank you so much for coming out today, sir.
Hey, y'all can take break in 15 minutes. Oh, y'all, you get the fuck up out of here in 15 minutes. I think Dunkin' Donuts, and here's Dunkin' Donuts, is this way.
You were live streaming at the front of the protest? You were getting up in the face of those guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen it?
I was training my camera on them too. I was like, hey man, you were live streaming at the front of the protest? You were getting up in the face of those guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen it?
I was training my camera on them too. I was like, if shit's gonna kick off, I'm watching.
Right. That's why I was on them.
So here's our orgs. Here's this card.
Thank you, bro.
You ever need anything?
There you go. These are people who led the protest. All power to the people.
Thanks for coming out.
Yep, thank you.
What's that? Is some pro in there I have?
Hey, excuse me. Can I get one of them t-shirts?
Are you asking if there were anybody from Portland here? No, I don't believe so. Not that I spoke to anybody that said so. But if you're talking about the people in all black that had the umbrellas, that's not just Portland. But there's some people that had come to the protest to be their own little group. Apparently, they seem to almost as if try and be a co-host of the event, but they were not. I think it's Party for Socialist Alternative. No, Party for Socialism Liberation, something like that. Those are the guys who PSA, I believe, or PSL. They organized the event. I think that those guys, I can't be for certain, but it seems like they may have had some ulterior intention by being here. I don't know if they intended to do anything tonight, but I also hope that with all the people that were training cameras on them and the amount of cops that were present and such, if they did have any intentions that today, that they got deterred. And I've not heard anything happening tonight that seems to be within that scope of activity. It's been peaceful in Philadelphia for 3 months. Near the beginning of, I believe it's June, there was some violent activity in May when it first kicked off and going into June. But the PSL organized an event to march onto the highway. That was the day that we had tear gas and pepper spray, and the protesters crowded onto a shoulder of the highway, and they were tear gassed with no way from escaping. The only way that people were able to get out of that situation was climbing over like a 10-foot fence. So it's very bad. And since then, June 6th was the first day that I was live streaming. It was 100,000 people marching from the Art Museum down to City Hall, around City Hall and back up. I live streamed that. I believe I put it up on my YouTube. I was doing it through my personal at the time, so it wasn't through my page. But a little after that, I started my page and I started doing the live streams. I'll stay calm. Yeah, absolutely. I hope everything stays calm too. Unlike many of the other cities who have had specific days where things have kicked off, Philadelphia, we had the one day of the one weekend, and then from there on, it's been peaceful every single protest. And there's been some sketchiness with the cops, like targeting people and stuff like that. There was one march where it was for funding the schools and stuff with children. And there was a cop who came over with like professional photography, got up in people's faces and were photographing their faces. That's not cool. Like I said, there was the incident back in late March, early June, where PSL was corralled on the highway and assaulted by police, by SWAT teams with pepper spray, tear gas, etc. And they could have definitely killed somebody there if somebody had respiration issues, because unlike in many other situations, the tear gas was being used on people that were stuck in a corner. They couldn't get out. And to expect them to climb over a 10-foot fence to get away, having already been exposed to tear gas, is just ridiculous. And then there were some people, in one instance was caught on camera, protesters on their knees surrendering to cops, or at least yielding to cops. They were pepper sprayed in the face deliberately by a police officer. He was actually held accountable for that, I think. The gun violence in Philadelphia, it's not like that's related to Black Lives Matter protesting or anything like that. I have heard that there is a lot of gun violence in Philadelphia. I don't live in central Philadelphia or West Philadelphia or anything like that to be in the middle of it. I did live in northwest Philadelphia in the Montgomery area for over a year. I didn't experience any gun violence in that neighborhood, but you can definitely hear stuff happening. Philadelphia does have its troubles, but that doesn't mean it's directly related to the Black Lives Matter protests or anything like that. The protests themselves have been 100% peaceful, and there's not been any like gun wounds or killings or anything like that at those events. I did hear that there was a man down in South Philadelphia who was visiting the area, and he was found hung. they want to deem it as a suicide. But just by the predicament, I would have to take the assumption that that man was likely lynched, which is a damn shame. And my heart goes out to him. And it's a little unfortunate that the organizers here haven't really got wind of it. I sent them messages just to make sure that at least somebody on their pages is aware of that happening. Hopefully we can start to organize a little bit more just to protest the fact that the police kind of shrugged it underneath the rug, saying it was a suicide, even though the family is very adamant that it was not. It's not a suicide. Oh, we got motorcycle and ATV guys going through the city doing wheelies and shit. It happens almost every protest. I don't know if it happens literally every day, but it's pretty great. It's funny. But yeah, there was a man who wasn't even from Philadelphia. He was from outside of Philadelphia. He was visiting, and he was found hung in a park in South Philadelphia. And there's a lot of speculation that that's lynching, because the family was very adamant that he was not suicidal whatsoever. He actually that day was proactive in doing what they're called, errands. He was trying to do errands throughout the day, getting his laptop repaired and stuff like that. So why would he commit suicide that night? Who are you referring to? Jacob Blake? Because I'm not going to be commenting on that. People can make their assumptions and they can go about the entire situation as to whether Jacob Blake was any kind of criminal. It doesn't matter. He has to be convicted. Yeah, everyone wants to justify his death, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm not having a conversation about this on the stream, man.
69 years old. Well, congratulations. Hope you are only halfway through Saudi Guerrilla and got 69 more lovely years. 80,000 troops. Holy shit. God damn, that's a straight up hardcore occupation. Three days on a ball field. Fuck. First 140-year-old says Janoy Kresva. You know, we may live. Those of us alive now may live a very long time. Technology is progressing at a near exponential rate, and who knows, we may all have our consciousnesses uploaded and become the machine. Guess there's no chanting today. Sorry. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
How's your live stream?
It's good.
Yeah?
People are watching and saying hi and all that. Some people are supportive, some people are not. And trying to explain to them that we're not all rioters and looters and nothing. Huh?
Are you on Instagram right now?
No, this is YouTube.
Oh, you're on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber now. Oh my gosh.
How is it?
Huh?
How is it?
It's pretty okay. People talk and they write and I write back, and it's good for getting awareness and visibility of our protests. And I'm on Woke on Twitch. That channel.